I'd like to call to order the Enfield Inland Wetlands Watercourse Agency meeting for Tuesday, December 21st, 7 p.m. It's our regular meeting. We have a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please. Oh, fire evacuation. In case of an emergency, you could go out the door in the back and away from the building, or the way you came in, go out this door, down the stairs, and away from the building. Roll call, please.
Donna Corbin-Sabinsky.
Here.
Virginia Higley. Here. Carrie Ann Howe. Absent. Robert Hendrickson.
Here.
Kevin Zorda.
Here.
Okay. Public participation. Is there anybody in the audience wanting to speak on items not on the agenda? Anybody want to speak on items not on the agenda? And one last call. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to speak not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Any agent comments or?
None.
Nope.
None.
Okay. Correspondence, we had none. Approval of minutes from December 7th.
I move to approve the minutes with a slight change, or do we wait till the end?
No, you can do it.
Okay. Page 5, where it says updated, it should say outdated.
On the second to last paragraph.
Yes, second to last paragraph. So I move to approve the minutes with that correction.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Donna Corbin-Sabinsky.
Yes?
Virginia Higley, yes. Robert Hendrickson.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
4 in favor, motion passes. Next is the town attorney report, which we have none. We do not have any continued public hearings. We have no new public hearings. So next on the agenda is our old business. IW 635, 117 North Street, restore lost wetlands, filled and disturbed to allow for the development of a contractor storage yard for material trucks and an agricultural cropland. Wellesley Wentworth applicant, Representative Joseph LaCory, applicant owner, map 93, lot 15, I-1 zone.
The applicant is not here. I have not heard if he's not coming, so I would request maybe move it until maybe later during the meeting.
Okay.
Or you
To
can
later on.
continue it.
Yeah, to the end of the meeting.
To the end of the meeting.
So
I
moved.
William Carvalho.
Can you please mute yourself until your violation is read?
Is now joining.
Thank you. Continue.
He's here.
So the applicants for 635, IW 635, 117 North Street aren't here. We have a motion.
So I make a motion that we move that item to the end of the meeting.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. So I gotta write that on here, so I don't forget it. Next is IW 636, 59 Cottage Grove. That has been continued to January 4th. Kevin,
Yeah, I make a motion that we move the POCD discussion to the now to the end of the meeting.
in this one here?
And the report of planning staff application revision discussion as well.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Move those to the end so we continue with our applications. New business, AAA 639, 37 Queen Street, at agent approval application for the continued Phase 3 of the emergency generator replacement project, Hazardville Water Company. Owner Robert Sherwood, applicant, map 66, lot 334, R88 zone. Are they here?
No, it's agent approval. So I did get an update about their diesel tank. It's because of the energy it's producing, so it has to be diesel, and it will be about 200 feet away from the building structure on a concrete pad.
Okay. That's good. Thank you for the clarification.
Yes.
Does anybody have any comments or questions? Or
None. None.
can we get a motion?
Yeah, I will make a motion that we approve AAA 639, 37 Queen Street for agent approval for the application of continued Phase 3 of the emergency generator replacement project. Hazardville Water Company owner Robert Sherwood, applicant map 66, lot 334, R88 zone.
Okay, can I roll call, please? Any discussion? No. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Discussion? No.
None.
Roll call?
Donna Corbin Zabinski.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Robert Hendrickson.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
4 in favor, motion passes. That will be agent approval. Okay. Next on our agenda is an enforcement report, notice of violation, 1700 King Street.
So our clients are here. They are virtual. You may unmute yourselves.
Yes, we're here. William Carvalho.
I'm Ignacio Carvalho, that's me.
Hi. Welcome to the meeting. Do you want to give a,
Sure. So included in your packets was a zoning complaint form from the zoning officer, as well as some pictures showing the new structures being built over the property line into the escarpment area. So it was observed that wood pallets and other debris may have fallen down the escarpment area to the brook from a fenced-in area that was extended by the property owner of 1700 King. The area is within 100 feet of Bowen's Brook and is in an escarpment area, and no permits were pulled.
so I have a question. Who
Go ahead.
owns the second property, 1706? Is it the same person? Because we're talking about the concern is on 1700 King Street, and it's, going over onto 1706. Is it the same owners or different owners, or?
No, it's only 1700 King Street. Ignacio Carvalho owns.
I think it's a different owner.
A different
Yeah,
owner?
let me look it up.
Are the owners aware of what's going on?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that where the complaint came from?
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was,
Yeah.
if it's two different owners, same
It
owner.
was confusing until
Yeah, it
I
was confusing.
realized
Yeah.
that the complaint was done by the other guy.
Would you like to speak regarding your,
Yes, I was speaking up with my brother, Ignacio Carvalho. He speaks English and understands okay, but I'll be able to translate for him. And I have spoken with him on his matter right now. And he's interested, obviously, he's going to move the fence back to his property line. But he's also interested in acquire information whether he can purchase several feet towards the brook, to the river. Or is that not a possibility, or does he need to pull permits? He was not aware of any permits of anything like that. And he's aware of the roof that has fallen as well, too. He's looking to get it cleaned up and move the fence if he can purchase any land or any footage towards the river.
So the purchase would have to, that has nothing really to do with us. That you would have to talk to the owner of that property. But in terms of doing anything within, a certain distance, and our planning staff can help you with applications. If you want to do anything that's located near the brook, you do have to have permits, because we have to make sure that we're not contaminating the brook with any debris or anything like that. So that's kind of what our job is here, to make sure that doesn't happen. So the first thing is to make sure you get that cleaned up. We want to make sure that any damage that's being done now is corrected. And then going forward, if you want to do something there, you would need to do an application on your property at this point.
The owners of 1706 is the Burlington Coat Factory.
Okay.
Yep, and he has encroached into their property with his fence and debris.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so, ¿entendiste más o menos lo que están diciendo?
Yeah.
Necesitas limpiar porque alguien tuvo que haber puesto, me entendés, dicho que estabas tirando cosas para abajo del río. Entonces, te pueden ayudar o sacar permiso, pero ahora tienes que moverte para atrás donde va la línea de la propiedad tuya y limpiar allí.
Okay.
So, what would obviously the next step for him is to clean up and the debris and whatever he needs to clean up and move the fence back to his property line.
Correct.
And then move it. Okay, and then any further stuff that he needs to do, he needs to get permits through the town for whatever extensions and purchases with the Burlington Coat Factory that you guys could probably guide him in the right direction if he needs to do so, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
so we need to set a time frame for when you're going to get this cleaned up. How quickly can you make that happen?
To move the fence right now probably is going to be kind of quite tough because, you know, to pull the post out with the frost and everything, ground is obviously, you know, frozen. I would probably estimate probably a better time, or we can try to do it now, but for the long run, maybe springtime when the ground is not frozen.
No, that's far too long. You know, I'm willing to give you, because of the holiday, maybe 90 days or at the most, but we would certainly, we would need it well before the spring.
Yeah. Also, on December 13th, you were advised to develop a plan on how you're going to clean it up and what you're going to do. Have you done that?
He does, well, this is why we're talking about, but he doesn't have it written and everything else. And, you know, he started cleaning up the fence, the front and everything else, and I believe he was advised not to start anything without a plan. So, how do you guys want a plan? I haven't seen it, to be honest with you. You know, with everything, he just asked me to, you know, be part of this to kind of help him out and get in the right direction.
Okay, if you could write a plan up and then give it to Georgina, the town, and have them review it.
Yep.
And she could show it to us at our next meeting, at our meeting.
January 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you could have that to us by January 4th?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So definitely. So what you want to know is how he's going to remediate the problem and solve the issue. Okay.
Correct.
Correct.
Which is moving back and everything else and going from there. Okay.
Correct. And then we could talk about it at the January 4th meeting.
Yep, and you can always refer to our GIS if you need help finding your property line. Our GIS isn't always 100% accurate, but you can use it as a reference.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can call the- Call the town planning office during business hours, and they can guide you a little better.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. That'd be probably better to see when the fence has to be moved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll talk to you again on January 4th.
January 4th. Could you, you guys send the reminders or no? Or I should write it down.
No, we.
If you could write it down, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
just write it down. We don't really do reminders.
That's tough, huh? To kind of deal with all this stuff.
Put it in your phone.
January-
That's what I do.
There we go.
Yeah. January 4th?
Yes, please.
Yep, you can also always keep a look at our website. We do update it daily for the next meeting.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably do that instead. But okay, sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah,
You
you
too.
too.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, continue to the next. Yeah. It's an enforcement report, so it's not really,
Right, it's not a.
it's not an application or anything. So it'll be next meeting. Okay, so next on the agenda is, we skip over that, new applications to be received. IW 640, 21 and 23 Bailey Road, application for a wetland permit due to close proximity of the Scantic River to allow for the demolition of the current structure and build a new smaller multifamily home. Gary LeClaire applicant, Representative Richard Zanoni, applicant owner, map 109, lot 19, and map 109, lot 20, RR 88 zone. So this is just to receive the application. And we will talk about it on January 4th. Okay. And then next is application to be received is IW 641, 25 and 35 Bacon Road, application for a wetland permit to construct a one-story, 819,000 square foot distribution center with accompanying parking lot, loading docks, and trailer parking at the end of the existing Winstanley Logistics Center at 25 Bacon Road. James Petropoulos applicant, representative Adam Winstanley applicant, WE 35 Bacon Road, LLC. Owner, map 94, lot 65, map 95, lot 5, I-zone. That's to be received, but,
I would propose that we do a public hearing on this project.
I think due to the interest of the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem a lot of inland wetlands disturbances,
There's
but
enough to warrant a
public hearing
Yeah.
for interest of the public.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can I have a motion for that?
I move that we set a public hearing for IW number 641, 25, and 35 Bacon Road. Application for a wetlands permit to construct a one-story, 819,000 square foot distribution center with accompanying parking, loading docks, and trailer parking at the rear of the existing Winstanley Logistics Center at 25 Bacon Road.
Second.
Okay, can I have roll call, please?
Donna Corbin-Savinsky.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Robert Hendrickson.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Yeah, 4 in favor, motion passes. So this will be a public hearing. Will it be January 4th or?
Yeah, I
Will they have
believe,
time
I
to
believe
do that?
January 4th. I'll calculate out the days tomorrow to see if we have enough time to do legal notices, and then they'll have to do notice of abutters, and I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay. So it's either the 4th or the 12th or something. Whatever, not the 12th. It would be the 16th, something like that.
May not be here.
Okay. Oh,
We might have to make sure Carrie Ann is.
yeah.
So there is enough time to post a legal notice. We'd have to do it this weekend, and then again next week.
Yeah, Kevin just mentioned he may not be here.
Yeah, I won't be here for the first couple weeks of January. I could get on via Zoom if you want to do it
Yes,
that
if you
way.
want to do a virtual meeting, we
Yeah.
could probably set it up.
So that-
Okay.
I can do that.
Yeah, just some, because make sure we have a quorum.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So 21 and 23 has been received, okay. So now we're back to IW 635, 117 North Street. Are the applicants here?
No, the applicants are not here.
So I guess we will have a motion to continue.
Do we have
Do we have
time to continue?
Yeah, we have
I thought we-
65 days, right?
I thought today was the drop dead date.
We have, wait a minute, 35 days
Yeah.
after we close the public hearing.
Yeah.
We would need something from the applicant to continue.
Yeah.
To
And they're
continue
not
it,
here.
so we can't, yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that's a problem.
No, we just voted.
No, I know, but this one's continued.
So I think you'd have to make a motion tonight.
I think so too.
Let me just check the calendar. October 5th. Received public hearing.
They have to give us a request, though. Yeah, if you want an extension.
What do you mean, anyone? She's counting up the days. We have 35 days from the day we,
Oh, yeah, and
Close,
65
yeah.
after that, right?
After you close the public hearing, you have 35 days to make a
it.
decision.
make a decision. We closed it
So,
Last meeting.
on the 7th.
so I think you have until the January 18th meeting
Oh,
at the latest, I believe. Let me just count one more time, just to make sure.
yeah, count one more time.
7, 14.
We would at least have till the first meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have at least till January 4th. 5, 10, 15.
Yeah, so I believe the 18th would be the absolute last day to make a decision.
Yeah, so I think we could do
No
it
more
Jan
extensions.
4th,
Or do we want to just do it?
or we could just do it now.
You can continue the application, which might be best for the applicant, so he's present when you make the motion, or you can make a motion right now.
All right. I will make a motion that we continue this application until the January 4th meeting.
Second.
Yeah. Any discussion? Nope. Roll call?
Donna Corbin-Savinsky.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Robert Hendrickson.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Okay, so January 4th, and could you please remind them to come?
Yep.
Thanks. Can't do anything with that. So,
The CD.
yep. So 6:35. The next on our agenda that we moved is the POCD discussion of goals and ideas.
So I ended up typing up some just optional goals for you guys to go over, add to them, take away from them, edit them as you see fit. I included the current goals for the POCD from 2011, which include streamlining the inland wetlands and watercourses review process, which we are currently doing, continue townwide monitoring of soil erosion, acquire land and or easements along freshwater brook. You can add other watercourses to this if you'd like, expand local stormwater regulations, and then some of the ideas for 2021 were to educate residents about the importance of wetland areas and raise awareness of the importance of wetlands, establish a wetlands restoration plan or creation plan, because we don't have one right now, establish new wetlands town map, which we will be going back to map amendments for applications that have different mapped wetlands, stuff like that. And to create a wetlands resource pamphlet to assist developers and residents in Enfield in order to enhance, protect, and restore wetlands within the town. This will help maximize economic and ecological benefits to the Enfield community. Then the last two are to develop a long-term sustainable wetlands program, up for discussion, meet the state goal of protected wetlands, also discussion. So feel free to add to them. If you want to edit them and discuss them at the next meeting, you can, so forth.
No, I like the ideas that you came up with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great one. I mean,
great.
definitely, well, not definitely, but I think certainly the order that they're in are not the importance, but,
Right.
I think establishing the new wetlands town map.
That's number one.
Yeah. So
They're in no order.
we really need to do that.
Yeah.
I think, in terms of our regulations, maybe updating them as well with some of the things that we've seen,
Right.
like some of the guidance on escarpments and stuff. And maybe that goes along with the wetlands program and the resource pamphlet. That would be a great one. I know back many years ago when I was in college, one of the things we had to do is go to, we went down to the shore to Mystic, and we did it was actually a zone, I think it was for zoning, but it was a similar kind of pamphlet that our whole class actually went down and created a resource pamphlet for them, and it was helpful because you do get people who have no idea. So at least if that's up there, and especially now that you can get everything electronic, that would be awesome, and it can be easily updated. You can get on that in your spare time. That'd be great.
Thanks.
I think after seeing the Noble Gas
Yeah.
presentation and everything, we should lean to somehow get companies to follow that model, because wetlands are all over Enfield, and we just kind of shut them down most of the time. But this is, it looks like a very successful way of getting a business in here and improving the wetlands all in one package.
And I'm sure he'd be
Policy
more
thing,
than
but-
happy to kind of
Yeah.
share that.
Yeah. I think that's a great plan.
I think it would help preserve wetlands and help us with our
Yeah.
duties and responsibilities as the agency, so.
Yeah, and how
It's
to
actually
scale
an
that down.
improvement. It's actually an improvement on the
Yeah.
wetlands. It
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like it actually.
More about rain gardens, creating those kind of things in a smaller scale.
I know Ginny has talked a few times about having some kind of educational type.
That's what I was going to ask. Since we're looking at wetlands, if we could pick one or two wetlands and then have a way to invite the public to come in and walk them and see and have the certain types of plants labeled.
Identified, yeah.
The purpose of wetlands, what purpose they serve, would be great for school children because that's where you get compliance. If you want the residents of Enfield to do more than lip service on wetlands, you get the kids involved and.
So actually, on that note, at one of our last site walks, the Conservation Commission actually came to me as a landscape designer because I've done some of that. They're actually working on doing something like that. They asked me to help them plan that. I haven't heard anything more about it, but it's something that a project that she is personally working on. I
Yep,
know.
they also submitted wonderful POCD goals and responsibilities,
Yeah.
and they're currently working on the next step, which is implementation strategy.
Yeah. So that's an excellent thing to do, and
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't fall in the weeds, you know?
yeah.
But with you as their helper, I'm sure it will proceed.
So one of the questions actually that came up earlier today is the acquisition of land and easements along Freshwater Brook.
How does that work?
Yeah, how does that work with, I mean, how much does IWWA?
We don't have any money in the budget.
So I guess it would come with new developments as easements are filed on land records and stuff like that. I'm not too familiar with how the process of easements work, but it's definitely something I could do more research on for you.
Wouldn't that be something the town council would do? They usually acquire property.
I believe so, yes. I'm not too familiar with the
We
process.
could recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, I think it's, you'd make a resolution request,
Yes.
something along those lines. I'm not too familiar with the process yet, but
Well, it doesn't have to be purchase alone. It could be, where if someone's doing a large project, and we've kind of done it where they designate an area
Yep.
as,
We've done it once or
Yep.
twice on the larger parcels.
Wonder, they're going to be doing that train thing going in Thompsonville?
we'll see.
We'll see, but I know we're talking about for a lot of years. We could do something there as an educational.
Yeah,
as well,
absolutely.
If that comes to fruition.
Excellent. I think it's a great list.
Yes.
please feel free to edit it at home. Maybe you'll dream of some beautiful ideas to add. Stuff like that.
You did a nice job, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, and I would invite, I don't know how many are listening now, but I would invite the public on things that they'd like to see to send us, what they'd like to see as well.
Yeah, and I would suggest sooner rather than later,
Yep.
so that
Yep.
we can incorporate the valid ones.
Yep, all of our POCD information is available on the town website under the Planning and Zoning Department page. All the draft chapters are up. Any community survey data that we've gotten so far from our client who's working on the POCD. So that now would definitely be the time to take a look at that, since the POCD will be a vision that Enfield Planning Commissions will use for the next 10 years.
Maybe you could have something, a small blurb on the town's TV channel, just letting the public know, when they have the fillers between meetings.
Yeah, what it is, what
Yeah,
it's
what
for.
it is, why we want their input.
Yep.
When their input should be given to us by, because sometimes people don't go on the webpage.
Yeah,
and look at
I'll
it.
pass along the memo. It has been on our website practically all year.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
have been doing meetings all year on it.
Okay.
Yep, which I believe the meetings are available for view on YouTube, I think. I'm not too sure.
I know, but people are so busy, they don't always
Yeah, of
look.
course.
Kevin, have you ever had any meetings? Because you're on the committee.
I missed the last meeting. I
Okay.
couldn't make it, but the previous two before that I think were canceled. So it's been a little tough.
Okay.
I missed the last
Yeah.
one also.
The last one was on housing, I believe, community housing.
Yep, the recent one was like economics, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, sounds good. Thank you very much for the list.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a keeper. Last item on the agenda is the report of the planning staff, the 2017 Inland Wetlands Watercourse Application Revision.
Yes, so I've included in your packets the new version of the wetlands application for starting January 2022. So as of January 1st, anybody who applies to the commission will have to submit this application, not the old one, which once you approve it, I will update the website and put a little memo on the wetlands page, hey, new application. So I just want to go over the corrections with you, which I've highlighted, just to make sure you are okay with the corrections and that there wasn't anything missing. Lori and I noticed one thing this morning with the application that I did not discuss with you at the last meeting, where it says at the top, application for permit extension, agent approval, modification, other. So other is usually, they would put map amendment, or I guess the other one that you would include would be determination of exemption, which might also fall under determination of permit needed. So those would be two more boxes we could add on instead of just saying other.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not make it easier? clearer for you, so you don't have to read and write.
All right, moving on. I just changed the staff box only for the new permitting system that we use, and then I moved the deep form submittal date to the top as well to save space at the end of the application. So originally it said summary description. I changed it to please provide a short summary description. On the bottom, that's your new reference date, January 2022. I ended up moving some of the questions for a better flow of how they're asked, since they were kind of out of order. So the first one that was fixed was the original question: is the property within a level A or level B aquifer protection area? And field no longer has level B protection areas, so it's just now level A. And I've included a subtext of if yes, you will have to confirm the project activity with the aquifer agent, because some developments might not be allowed in the aquifer zone. Then I moved, does this application include any regulated activity in a floodplain other than the 100-year floodplain? Because there's different types of floodplains. Yep. And then following that question, are proposed activities located within the 100-year floodplain? Because then that would require a separate permit.
Question?
Yes.
Did you move the project cost somewhere?
No, because it doesn't really relate to our agency, and it's none of our business really. Okay. It's mostly for building department and stuff like that, legal wise.
Except if we're asking for a bond.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I would probably include that in for the applicant themselves. And in most cases, our past applications, most applicants don't even put the project cost on them anyways. So most, like 99% of the time, we don't even know the project cost. But yeah, I can definitely include them in my staff report when we have to do bonds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect us per se, but it might help you guys out, calculating that.
It's irrelevant to our department,
okay.
really.
Okay.
All right.
It's mostly the zoning officer.
Okay.
So, next page. I changed a little bit of the next section where it originally said environmental history. I changed it to say environmental information because it's more than just history. So I added the question area of wetlands to be disturbed. Mm-hmm. That way we know the impacted, the disturbed, and the amount of wetlands located on each property. And then I've added the question, what prudent and feasible alternatives have you considered? Please describe, which is a question we should always be asking.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I did not change any of the environmental questions as they are the same. Did not change any of the notaries. The checklist was the next thing that I edited, showing the correct amount of days from 25 to 21 days prior to a Border Commission meeting. And I've included an additional, I've actually changed the next checklist item, which states an original of the completed application form and site plan and 14 full-size copies of site plans and any report, which is kind of fragment of a sentence. So I've changed it to an original completed application form, reports, and set of full-size copies of site plans. And then the details for those plans are below, which are not changed.
Question.
Yes.
So our regulations say they have to do 12 copies in section 7.8, page 11.
I think our department requires 14 anyways, because we have to give extra the site plans we have to give to each department.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say was, I think we need to update the regulation. We need to have these match.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't match. So
Do we need to put 14 sets in? It just says full-size copies. Oh,
Yeah, below it says
Below,
14,
sorry.
because that includes the size and the additional stuff. There's a lot. It's quite an application.
right.
And then I
Yeah, so if you
added.
could just make sure our regulations.
Yeah,
are good.
absolutely. And then we can go over a regulation edit session, which would have to be a public hearing to amend.
Right.
Okay.
Just make a note. So we
Yep.
could-
Yeah, definitely. And then moving on, I added the section for the project narrative, which is a project narrative providing a long, detailed description of the entire project, because in most cases we get bullet point list or a paragraph, and that's it, not a lot of detail. I did not change anything on the site plan requirements checklist. The next thing I changed was on the third page, page 8, additional information. The electronic submission, I just updated it from CD format to the planning department requires an electronic submission of all documents due upon application submissions via email, USB, or Viewpoint Cloud, which is our online permitting system. And then that's it. So I guess your next steps are to approve the corrections, and then once you approve the corrections, I can move forward with the application.
I move that we approve the corrections for the agency application for inland wetlands and water courses.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Jenny, you were just going to say?
Roll call.
No, that she did a good job. I think you did a great job reviewing it. Just wanted to say that. Okay, now we can do roll call.
Okay, Donna Corbin-Zawinski.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Robert Hendrickson.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
4 in favor, motion passes.
Thank you.
So that's great. We'll have a nice new application to match online.
Okay.
I think.
Now if we can just get the applicant to do the application.
Complete it. Yeah.
Complete it, yes.
Okay, so I think, anything else? Yeah.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.